Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the T.O.A podcast. I am your host, Onvermel, as always. Today, I'm greeted here today by both of them, both the Ek and the Zach. Gentlemen, how goes it?
It feels like it's been a while, but no, it hasn't.
No, it really hasn't, actually.
I mean, it's been a long week, but it hasn't been a long time.
Well, it's only been 1 week, I think, since I was last here with the Ek, I believe, because I was here with you last time, right?
Here last week.
Yeah, because we were talking about Pirate's Life.
Yeah.
So normally, it's every 2 weeks. This is a special occasion. But before we get to that, if you get this channel to when I get to 100 subscribers, I'll bury a T.O.A Nua in the dirt. Make it happen.
A real T.O.A Nua.
In the real dirt. Yes, I will do that when I get to 100.
Cats.
That's
what
what I
those
do.
Miss Ticka garbage ones.
No,
we're talking
the
No, that's like Gen 1 original Nua. He'll be buried in the dirt. Not in a time capsule, just buried directly in the dirt. If I get to 100 subscribers, make it happen.
He's made of plastic, could last 100 years.
I'll dig them up at some point.
I hear there's microbes that are eating plastic.
But-
Maybe that's 99.
But, that's just my plug to try and get 2 more subscribers if you've made it this far. So, today is a very special day. Not the day we're recording this, but the day that I'm putting this out will be the 1-year anniversary of starting the podcast, which technically reviving the channel to some extent. Because I had videos on the channel before, but I hadn't done anything with it in such a while that the podcast basically actually made the channel active again for myself, which was on the 29th of January last year.
I was going to say, because this is not your birthday, so...
Nah, it could be. Come on, guys. Fork over the gifts.
I will spoon over the gifts, thank you very much.
I only knife gifts.
No, don't spoon over. Don't ever say that. Don't say spooning over the gifts. That just sounds weird. That sounds like you're sleeping with your gifts and just like caressing them. It's like, I'm going to spoon you. I mean...
Well, better spoon
if you
than
choose
moon.
to see it that way, fine. But some of us have less filthy minds than you.
Spooning isn't filthy. It's just the way you sleep, basically. Where
Just
it's
be
like
happy I'm
one
not
person's
mooning
kinda
your
like
gifts.
No. His gift will be a mooning.
Oh no. Well, you guys aren't invited to my birthday party ever again.
Wait, you ever had a birthday party?
I did a couple
we're not
times.
invited.
And I was definitely not invited to those.
No, you weren't. My 18th birthday.
I may
my
have been
18th
there
birthday
'cause-
one, you guys weren't invited to. I think Zach was there because maybe.
I moved out the year you turned 18.
I don't know if you actually were there for my 18th birthday because I basically just me and my friends. I don't. My younger sister was there. This is really off topic. All right, but
Wait,
what is
topic?
the topic?
well, actually, there isn't a specific topic today. It's basically
so we're
just
right on
the
topic.
channel's been around for a year, guys. What can I say? Or not, the podcast has been around for a year. I mean, it's not like an episode 100 or episode 50. I think it's 45, I believe. So
I mean, there are
couldn't quite line. It's only 42
a year.
Yeah, well, we missed a couple.
So there should be less than 50.
Yeah, so it's like I said, I think it's just the 45th.
Ideally, the
means
42nd
I
one
missed-
guys.
Which means I missed 7. Have we missed 7 podcasts?
I guess so.
Although technically this
Well,
one's
sounds
coming out a
plausible.
little bit earlier because I wanted to make it on the same 29th, but I guess the math should still work out. So I miss one average every couple months, give or take. On average. Just saying. Give
Yeah,
or
we're
take.
pretty good at that.
Math. But it's been a very fun year. I'm actually just really glad that you guys haven't abandoned our province of birth.
Well,
like most of our
maybe
siblings.
your listeners have abandoned you. You're just getting a different listener every podcast.
It's like there'll be 6 that's the same, but the 7th one does change out. The 7th one is different.
I think even
A
saying that you know who the
member.
sixth are is pretty...
That's me whenever I get a 7th like a viewer on my podcast. A 7th view. Start to meditate, look into the stars.
And then when you get 8, the entire congregation of Tohunga has been gathered.
Yes. What happens if I got 9? I mean, I've had 9. Most of the podcasts on average I think get 10 to 20. Just because some of them have gone like to 100, like one's gone to 100, and that helps the
That
average.
throws off the average a lot.
The good ones got to
But in a
20.
good way.
It's like the good ones would break 20. An average one would break 10 or get to 10, and then the quiet ones would get less than 10.
You know, it must be pretty sad when we get excited about 10 views.
Hey, that's in the 2 digits, baby. That's in 2 digits.
You must be doing something right
Sorry,
if we get to 10.
I'm used to the webcomic views, which go a little higher on the average day.
Well, it's just weird because
you look at other YouTube channels, they're like 10K. I don't know what that K means.
It
Kinder
stands for
Surprise.
1,000, but I don't know why it's a K.
Kinder Surprise, obviously. Because it shortens it a little bit.
But how does K stand for 1,000? Where do you,
know,
get
that's
1,000 in a K?
Actually, wow, I've never actually thought about that.
Unless because it's like the Roman
No.
numeral 1,000.
No, that's like M. I think
Yeah,
M.
then why not 10?
I have
Because
no...
10K sounds better.
10 carats.
We'll have to look this up with the K later
He's got
because...
10 carat views.
You know, I mean, as Bionicle fans, we approve the K because Ks are very Bionically.
C
Better
is
than C.
horrible.
C
Don't
is
use
a
C.
bad.
Well,
That's what they love about Bionicle.
for whatever
they kind
reason,
of abandoned C.
Not really. I mean, when Cortic Blasters came out, that's a C.
That's just weird.
Paul,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
threw me off
blaster.
because when I was doing the launcher videos and such, I was writing up Cortic Blaster and I kept thinking a K, and I'm like, this looks wrong. And I had to look at it, I'm like, oh, it's a C.
But I think if you look at
But it has a K at the end of
I'm
it.
pretty sure if you look at the
That is-
well, yeah, they use a lot of real words too. But like, if I feel like you look
I
at the
don't think
Bionicle
Cordac's a
Dictionary
real word.
or Bionicle Encyclopedia, there's not a whole lot in the C section because most things that they name like their own created names.
Yeah, the
They'll-
C
they-
section
their
is actually
clues are always
pretty
Ks.
small. It's a pretty small section overall. But it's right, 10K, that's what we're talking about. It's like, what the frick were we talking about that we got to talking about dictionaries? Speaking of, I still need to get the other Bionicle Encyclopedia.
If anyone happens to have a spare one, please send it
I
our
got
way.
the latest edition, the one that came out
The
in,
red edition.
I believe it was 2007. Because the last edition they did was when the Mari came out, because it had like Elik on the cover and such. So
See,
it was 2007. But they never. I wish the Lego had done one last Bionicle Encyclopedia, like after 2010. Like, no, here's an Bionicle
Greg
Encyclopedia.
Parsley, here's a
That way,
project
if you
for
wanted all the information, you didn't have to go
Oh wait,
online.
it does
because-
exist. Do you know where it is? It's called Biosector 01.
Go visit it.
Well, it's not really an encyclopedia. It's just the well,
It's
it's
an
a
encyclopedia.
Wikipedia.
Which is an encyclopedia
Well, I guess it is.
online
I kind of forgot what
that
encyclopedia meant for a
anyone can
second.
edit.
See, I really like
Well,
the
not
blue.
anyone.
That's Wikipedia.
I like the earlier blue encyclopedia because it came with the bonus
Short story.
short story for Nidiki and his past.
That's one reason why I won it. I believe it also has a sticker sheet in that one. Or is that a different
think
book
it
that has a
did.
sticker sheet?
I mean,
Think
me
it
and,
had a sticker sheet?
me and Egg both had a sticker sheet.
So,
and
yeah,
I
it'll
don't
be
think
that
you
one.
did, so that stands to reason.
Yeah, that's another reason why I won that. I was like, I want the stickers. I want to get that little short story because I don't know if I've ever read the short story Nidiki, just because I didn't have that. I didn't have my own copy of that. So
It's been pretty accessible via.
yeah, I'm not saying it's not difficult. I'm just saying I don't think I actually ever have, or if I have, it's been so long that I don't remember any of the details. It's a thing, you know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Speaking of Nidiki,
What about Nidiki?
I'm still disappointed that T.O.A. Rooney's not in Nidiki.
I'm very disappointed with that too.
Especially because it's very blatantly obvious it was meant to be Nidiki.
Mostly in the mask.
The chest armor,
No, but
the
that's
color.
the color is gold.
But I mean, yeah, the
and
mask
so-
was it too. But I'm
the
like,
mask is the real.
I mean, it's been confirmed it is. I think when we first saw him in catalogs, we didn't read the
we
name.
naturally
So
assumed.
we was to a
it's-
Nidiki, and then shortly after, oh wait, Iruni. Wait, you
Who
mean that
the
little guy?
heck is Iruni?
No, we came to this part, so we knew who Iruni was because of the
What's
Raga.
an Iruni?
What's an Iruni? And then you look at Nork and it's like, yep, that's a Doom. We're Doom. Oh, sorry, a Duma. That's a Duma. A Toa Duma. But unfortunately, it was not.
It was doomed to failure.
It was very doomed
You know,
to
that
failure.
actually even makes more sense. Like, you look at Iruni's spear, that kind of looks like the
His pictures.
Takanuva tool, but like bent in it.
Yeah, I had noticed that too, and I'm just like, it's so close, and yet,
so far.
and he also had gold armor, like what's his face?
Likan?
Yeah, that guy,
Likan.
that awesome dude, that awesome.
So what
dude.
you're saying is Likan's whole team I should make gold or whatever, not
Well,
just Likan.
I mean, I would
Well,
say
yeah,
that,
Mitch knew his finest.
but because the Volt attack only comes in silver, and getting gold paint that matches Lego gold is kind of difficult, like really difficult. I found some people can find like a nice light gold, like a pearl gold, but not easy to come by. And then like the flat dark gold, I have no idea how easy that'd even be to find. I don't even want to try. I kind of want to try, but I don't want to try.
do
or do not. There is no
no
try.
try.
Don't you mean Duma or Duma not? There is no try.
Duma not? How do you Duma not? Show me how to Duma not.
I don't know. I'm just
First,
trying to make a lousy
you make
pun
the
here.
bunny go under the bridge and
Duma.
jump over the ridge and into the fridge for dinner. Nursery Rhymes by Onvermel.
Not
Creeps
his
from the
strong
deep.
suit.
No. My strong suit is on the Ace of Spades.
I thought you were more of like a diamond person.
I actually, no, I did like diamonds over... my hierarchy of card suits, by the way, was diamonds, spades, clubs, hearts.
I like the clubs.
Clubs are cool, but the Ace of Spades is kind of just.
Ace of Spades
Ace of
always
Spades
was
cheats,
the
okay? It's like a how. It's just actually going to be the coolest one.
Just because they, for some reason, made the Ace of Spades the coolest looking card in the deck. Unless
Speaking
there's
of
a lot great
hows,
cards.
I finally decided to make a mock with my Chrome How.
How did it turn out?
quite good,
How?
actually. Well, the thing is, I was the one with the chrome helmet for the longest. I even had a second one before either guys got one, and I just never built a mock with it.
How is that possible?
How
Okay.
did this come to be?
Okay, you feel with your how puns. You better stop, and I'm gonna smack you left and right. You left, you right. But no, it's like it actually turned out really good, which is funny because looking at him, he's very, very similar to one of my self mocks, Purple Wolf, not the Onvermel self mock, Purple Wolf. And I'm like, because I think my mentality of building him went the same way of how cool. Basically, it was just like, oh, he's a purple mock. Oh, he's got to have black highlights. He has a silver mask, and Purple Wolf has a silver head. They both have like capes and such, guns, swords, and it was just a cool factor. Was basically the only thing going into it. I wasn't trying to build a character to fit into the universe. I was just building someone cool. However, I then ended up writing the short story, which is slowly turning into a small book about this character, which has been really fun. I have no idea if I'm going to continue it. It's kind of going to go as it goes.
I need to get back to work on my retelling of the Bionicle story that's more compact and limited in scope. I think Mike, the Lost Hoa, would really appreciate it.
Mean how one?
Yeah, that one.
I
There's
don't.
too many brothers. It's
I
hard
don't
to
think
keep
we
them
can. I don't think we
straight.
can get the Lost Toe to read anything of ours. In all honesty, probably. I don't actually know.
I think if you actually directly ask him and you know it's not going to be a lot of his time.
I feel like it'd be like, if I have time, and then like 2 months later, it'd be like, oh
And
yeah.
he'll forget within an
He's
hour.
read
You know,
an
I
actual
would.
story of mine that I wrote, and he's actually taken notes.
Probably because he had time. Now he's got a kid and a wife.
Just
and
saying,
a job.
you know,
I'm saying, especially now, I'm like, I would be surprised if he can get to do anything.
for all I know, he has read those short stories put up. He just hasn't made a comment on them because
It's
he's
possible.
quiet.
It is possible. I'm just glad I've actually been writing more Bionicle stories, which someday perhaps might bleed into the channel. Maybe I might make quick short still motion videos. I don't know if that's an actual.
Sounds like a good idea.
I don't know if that's an actual term or not for basically just some single images, kind of to basically like making stop motion but being too lazy for it. So you just have like single.
I think your
slides.
style would be more old radio style. It's just a straight blank screen with just basically us voicing.
No, I would need to take pictures of.
Adventures of Onvermel.
I would definitely need to take pictures of the mocks. Like this is something I do want to do at some point, and that's one reason why I'm enjoying writing shorter stories too, because
big long episodes
I'm
are
not.
too much work.
I'm not going to ever. Yeah, that's why I can't seem to work on Onvermel story. Like the first Bionicle story I started to write, which I did the whole first draft, but it needs major. Like the whole thing's basically getting rewritten to an extent, and like the plot.
I hear you, bro. I hear
And
ya.
the thing is, I've looked at it. I just sit there and I just go, I don't want to work on this. Like when I write these short stories, I write like 5 pages, and then that's done. And then if I want to continue, like this last one, I added like another 4 pages, and we'll continue from there. Maybe, maybe not.
Depends how much you want to see Bracken.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm pretty sure the next. I did have a late slight idea that the next bit's not going to bump into him yet. I think there's going to be something between him getting to Gethlonui.
Yeah, you can't just go from A to B like that. You gotta have like a C, D, E, F.
This is Bionicle storytelling. You only tell key little snippets of information. You can skip.
Well,
right
if you
ahead.
want to make Bracken
No,
feel
this
more.
isn't about-
The
this
thing
is
is though,
fanfic.
if you want Bracken to feel more unknown and like distant from everyone else, taking time to get to him is going to help with that.
That is very key. That's something I've learned in my story that I'm writing is how do you make it feel like a long journey? You gotta talk a lot about the longness of this
Plus,
journey.
there's enough of the.
Filled with
look at
pointless
this way. We also
nonsense.
have enough Bionicle characters.
Your
enough.
characters have to get bored going there.
Well, listen, we have enough Bionicle characters, enough Bionicle lore that filling in a journey towards another location shouldn't be too difficult.
No, not really. We have so much of our own stuff in our heads. It's
That's
easy.
why I'm doing these short stories. And I'm like, I have so much that I need to get them done. The problem is I keep making new stuff, and I'm not like writing down the old stuff. However, that was all the series of short stories Convergence was all about, which I think I mentioned several podcasts back with Ek here.
It's possible.
I think I briefly mentioned it. Yeah, because we were talking about all the Bionicle stories that we had done over the course of years, which I need to correct a little something on that. I know we originally said, I think, that we were pretty sure that you had made the first like short story with some total, but Zacta actually, I think, had written several really short little like stories.
I had definitely written the first, and I don't know after that if I was the
Like I said,
all of them, but I do know I had
I don't
a
know
little
where
spur
my
of
book-
little short stories.
I don't know where my first draft of my book landed with the rest of it, but you had a lot more little short
Yeah.
stories than I
I
even
can
knew
trace
about.
one
So
back to probably, I'm going to say 2012, maybe 13.
that sounds like the time I started maybe writing the. I I still don't know the name of the book, by the way, with Onvermel. This is before Onvermel was my.
Coming up with titles for stories is often the hardest part.
Do you know what I
Sometimes
do?
it's the easiest part.
I had
Sometimes
this.
you can find a title for a story, and I'm like, I need a story to go
Yeah,
with
like
this.
the Moose's Prophecy.
That's a thing. But it was like,
Ooh, that's a thing, eh?
oh yeah, completely.
Yeah,
eh?
now I'm trying to
Well,
think
now
of
we
a
get some
story
maple.
for that.
Now we get some
title.
maple syrup with the tinnies. I don't think that was a Canadian accent. Why am I trying to do a Canadian accent? I am
Ooh,
Canadian.
you're doing
I've
Eastern
come up with
Canadian
several
accent,
stories
eh?
that came with title first, story second.
But the thing about titles is, you know what my go-to is? One word.
I really
Yeah, Onvermel here, he's a one-word guy.
One
One
word-
Elephant Knight here, he's more of a two-word guy.
one word.
Oh,
is
full,
fact that he
using,
likes
using
his
your full
naples.
name. Oh my, Elephant Knight. How proper, a prim. You
There
pachyderm.
is something about
A prim and proper pachyderm.
There is something about a single word title that I think just there, but maybe
Well,
it's the short
one
human
thing-
attention span.
I think the reason why I like it is, it's just one word. It's like, okay, it basically cuts to the point, and it's not like going, what does it mean about?
Short one-word titles.
It's because the thing is, but the thing
I
about
mean, it's
very,
that was
very.
what
Look
I
at
was
any Netflix streaming episode or like Disney Plus or
See,
anything.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, yeah, like there's something about one word title, but it's definitely been oversaturated.
Very much so, very much so. But actually, one thing that I did like about using the title of Convergence for my one book essentially is I kind of at some point, if I ever get to the point of making a essentially sequel to it, I would call it Divergence, which would work with the general story going
Though
with.
you have to admit, a short one word title works very
Once
well
you
for a
do
short
come
one.
up with a title, it's like, ooh, I can name the sequel this, and the
Yeah.
prequel
Yeah, that's how
that.
my titles work. Which
But,
is why the standing title for Onvermel's book is Unity.
Yeah.
Because if you want of a trilogy, it'd be Unity, Duty, and Destiny.
But you have to admit, like a short.
It's so obvious for Bionicle, but it's
But yeah, it's
we'll
like
do it.
Hey, I can make the themes work.
But,
I can make the themes work.
yes, but a short one word title works well for a short one page story.
Oh no, though that just gets two letters. It doesn't necessarily need to make a word. TV.
IU. What does IU mean? I don't know. It was the first two letters I could think of.
I just mashed the keyboard a couple times and that's what
I
I
literally
got.
just dropped.
There were
the
two
keyboard.
letters that looked good together, and it sounds all right. You know, when
And-
you just go KW,
KW.
not so good. Like KM,
KW feels kind
L2.
of bionically, K's
Okay,
and
one of those is a number.
Now, I mean, I know I'm breaking my
Now you
rules,
just
but
sound like a droid from Star Wars.
L2. Yeah, that does sound like a droid's name.
Like
Yeah.
half a droid name.
Half a droid.
No. It shall be Q.
No.
Hey, Star Trek.
No.
has something to say
I got a better
about
one.
that.
Comma. Just a
comma.
comma.
You gotta go with semicolon, and anyone who gets that, it's probably neither of you two.
I feel like I should, or you've made this joke before to me and I just it's
No.
gone over my head.
Lego
like-
Star Galactica. The Q character was called semicolon.
Okay, I think you've told me this like 10 years ago.
I've not read
10
that.
years ago sounds about right.
Because that does sound just vaguely familiar.
I have not read that, though I have wanted to. Now, I question: is it spelled semicolon, or is it literally just
It's
a
the semicolon.
it's
It's the sort of gag that only works in a webcomic, not in
Yeah.
a TV show.
Yeah.
basically it's a visual gag.
So fun. But I'll definitely say this, it's like over the past year with the podcast, like we've talked about, a lot about our personal past with Bionicle. Some opinions on Bionicle. I don't think we've actually got much in our opinions on the general story. We've talked about more of our own stuff, our own stories. We're talking about our own webcomics, which Bionicle,
Which is not doing well for views. I can't imagine why.
that's just the podcast.
We
in
need to
general.
talk about more like Barnacle stuff that's in the new and
Now.
Well, unfortunately, the Lego Ideas was not going around anymore, so I can't use that as clickbait. That's good. The one podcast that got over 100 views was one talking about the Bionicle Ideas
and just no one
and the
who
right time.
watched that just didn't want to listen to us yet
on that
about other
thought,
stuff.
I was watching a short video the other day saying, it might have actually been Bionicle that won the poll for 90th anniversary.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, like, it's been a while, and they haven't released anything yet. It's as if they're like, the Bionicles won, and they are sour about it. It's like, okay, didn't expect it.
I would say there's a decent chance that Bionicle could have won, but at the same time,
I don't
they
think
really
they did.
screwed it over just because they should have done multiple sets. You have a big space one, a bigger castle one, a medium pirate one,
And
a
a small
small
Bionicle
Bionicle
speaking
one.
of, weren't we supposed to hear something about that, like we announced the winners like a month ago or two?
That's exactly
I
what
don't
the
Because
video I
I'm
was
pretty
watching was
sure
all about.
people were saying that the winners were supposed to be announced in November.
Honestly, what I
Unless
would like,
Bionicles are one, in which case we're trying to find a way
something
around.
realistic that I'd like to see, and that could, like, we'll say space wins. Space would be a good choice anyway.
They find a ruin
Big
of a...
classic spaceship, but there's a small Blackstone ship and attacking it. That would make my heart just...
He wants Black
That's all I
Tron
need.
really, really
There
bad.
could be a small black
See,
fake, and
I would
get
just
one
like to
with the
see if
cockles on
Space
his
wins,
heart.
is that they make a little nod to the other two themes that wins, like, by something.
There'll be
Well,
space
they
parts
should
with
have
parts
some,
leg.
like, even if they just do ones that have some big multi-thing.
Do you know
Like, there's
they
a big castle, and a spaceship, and a Bionicle, and a pirate ship. There's a small little model of each.
They really should have gone for like a wave of sets rather than just one.
I just want to know how big this
That
set's
is,
gonna have to be.
why'd they do one set? They should make like 4 or 5. They would please everyone.
Or three, a small, a medium, and a large.
No, it wouldn't please everyone. Remember, it would not please the people who have to design these sets.
How about the people who like
A
Scala?
lot of
Would they be
people-
pleased?
Yeah, well, no one likes Scala.
How about the people like the Clickets?
No
I'm
one
working
likes...
I'm Galador fans. I'm
Oh,
working my
There's
way up.
no one.
I could handle a reboot of Galador. I think they could reboot it.
Hey, Galador is a great toy.
You
It's
could.
just a horrible
okay,
Lego
the thing is,
toy.
you could
And a
reboot.
horrible TV show.
You could reboot Galador, but Lego's never taking that chance.
Lego would rather reboot Clickets. Oh wait, they did.
Oh look, it's the same thing. Disney's never going to reboot like the Black Cauldron.
Which is a real shame, because there's a lot of potential there. Now,
Because a lot of people, all they know about, like most generic people know about the Black Cauldron is it's a Disney movie that exists that people don't know about.
I think Warner Brothers would do a better Black Cauldron since it's supposed to be a dark and gritty story.
And Warner Brothers likes to do dark and gritty a bit more.
They love their dark and gritty.
Well, they're not Disney. They're the only people who aren't Disney, so they have to do it.
Yeah, Disney's pretty much bought up all the other competition by now. I think Sony's all that's left other than Warner Brothers.
And I think Disney like half bought Sony.
Yeah,
No, they
well,
have a deal
they
with
have
Sony
bought-
for Spider-Man, but that's pretty much all Sony
I'm pretty
puts
sure
out.
Sony is just like dangling Spider-Man in front of Disney, going,
You want
yeah,
it?
You want it?
We're
And
gonna
Disney's
make
like,
you
we'll
pay
buy
for
you.
the
It's like,
nose for it.
no, not yet.
No.
They're just lording it over.
As
Disney.
long as we can make money off it, no.
No, like with the 90th anniversary, like I would like to see some reference to Bionicle or
I want a mask.
I would just
like I said,
take a
I
sticker.
still
I got a sticker.
I'm still just want to see something Bionicle like the Mayfigs, like just something.
The same set that has your Black Swan torso hidden underneath a worker's outfit has a Nua sticker.
Very nice.
You know,
Yeah,
you
it's
really
a great
should-
set. It's got both Black and
Well, there's about
Bionicle.
half a
It's not just a
dozen.
Bionicle, but a black Bionicle.
There's about half a dozen, I think, system sets that have Bionicle related stickers. Like,
Mostly Ninjago. But
Almost
not all.
exclusively Ninjago.
yeah, there's a town set that's
Town.
reference to Voinui. Because it's a plane set, it has a location in Voinui, like you see the map of it. You know, as a tropical getaway, you go to Voinui.
Why have I not heard of this until now, and why don't I own this set?
I think we probably might mention it once randomly, because I'm pretty
You don't
sure
need to buy. You don't need to buy a set. Just buy the sticker sheet. It'll
I keep
cost you
meaning
like
to do that.
$5 instead of 100 something.
it made me
How
mean
big
less.
is this set?
It's a plane.
It's a plane. It's big.
There's various size of planes Legos come
I
out.
would say
Yes,
the
and
average
nowadays
large,
they're big.
Well, you know, it
it's
could be
a large passenger
See,
plane.
I didn't know it was a passenger. You just
And
said
it
plane,
prob-
so it's like one of those little mail planes you see, like you know, a little leisure plane. or-
Yeah, that wouldn't have
Why
a good
would they
sticker
go
sheet.
to a tropical island?
Because they
because
want
it's a
to take
leisure
a
plane.
vacation.
Maybe it's like quote unquote adventurer. You know, some like jungle explorer. I don't keep up on the new Lego anymore. I kind of
I don't
Okay.
either. But, you know,
I
when
do,
Bionicle
but
shows
not
up,
my
I hear
full
about it.
attention.
the only keeping up I got was the
That
catalog.
was also
I
like
got
a year and a
in the
half
mail.
ago now or something. Or a year ago. I think it was last year. Or even like, was it 2020 or was it a 2021 set? I don't remember exactly. It was a
Time
general-
has no meaning since 2020.
It's look, the last 2 years have just been kind of just a haze. Don't get me wrong, in my personal life, it's been a very different life world and things have, you know, with totally work related as you know, there's a lot more stuff than going
That's
on.
not
but
your personal life. That's like literally the
no,
opposite. of your
that's
personal
my
life.
personal life. Unfortunately, that is my personal life. My personal life revolves around work and at the moment Bionicle. Sometimes they're together. I could someone make them if I could talk
Mostly
about.
because he has like a mask on his keychain.
I have a Bionicle
Ergo.
tattoo on my arm, therefore Bionicle's always with me when I'm getting paid at work. Bionicle's with me. Also, my lanyard for my keys at work are also Bionicle.
Whatever. And your lunchbox too was or still is.
No, that design on that was getting too worn down, so I stopped
You
using
had a
it.
lunchbox.
Because
with
well, when we
Bionicle?
got the Legend Reborn, there was like a
Yeah.
little lunch bag, like a thermal lunch bag that
I
came with
think
it.
I remember that.
Because you had gone the cardboard frame part that everything went on. So
Yes.
the
you
problem
get
is,
the
like I
bag,
said,
like
the
with
problem is the
cardboard.
wording is pretty much scraped away, faded off. Like you can still tell that it says Bionicle, the Legend Reborn, but you know,
Are you sure it's not the Legend Reformed?
no, we haven't edited it yet. So
Okay.
oh yeah, I've never actually right. That reminds me,
Reborn?
I keep meaning to watch the a review on that one. I have to get to that. Sorry, a little side that.
No.
But for viewers of the channel, I'm just going to take this moment.
Assuming you've made it this far.
Yeah, if you do, the people who made this far probably are going to know this information. Hi, How1, how you doing? Um, but hopefully for this year, we'll be actually hopefully getting some more people on the channel, or at least getting some people on back again, like General Pitbull, if anyone doesn't remember him. Hoping to get him back on the channel this year. I can
With
guarantee
better
you.
audio.
I can get that was I just forgot to plug in the mic, so it was just the computer audio directly. That was unfortunate. I'm hoping to get How1 on here really soon with the comics, so you can guarantee he'll be showing up a couple more times in the probably near future. And then even the Lost T.O.A has agreed to at some point do a podcast with me. So another brother that none of you have heard before. Well,
He is
You've
lost.
heard of
about
him.
it, but you just haven't heard him. And then, like I said, I'm even hoping. I would like to get other people, and like I have other friends of mine who do know that I kind of want to get on. It's just lives are busy with them, and I haven't really pitched the idea to them yet. But if I asked them to, I probably could. So
It's always interesting to get random strangers' insights on our
Yeah, you
favorite.
don't know who
That's
we
the
are.
thing
You
is-
don't know who they are.
Well, one reason the one I had General Pitbull was it was that I wanted to see basically the different ways that we basically grew up with Legos, But getting people who had definitely the thing about General Pitbull though is I would say his knowledge of Bionicle was a lot more sparse because like
Most people
I would
are.
say for the most part he didn't have any knowledge in the general actual storyline to anything Lego, while possibly maybe my other well I have one friend who actually met at work. He actually was reviewing the Bionicle storyline with a buddy of his because I think I had kind of gotten back interested in Bionicle. Kind of. I think being around me just reminded him about it.
It is
so
the way.
I wouldn't mind getting him on at some point, but
I feel like Bionicle is honestly
he might be a
more
little bit
likely
difficult.
something you're going to fall out of in early adulthood, but you're going to pick up later on just because it was a bit more of a matured story. So
Well,
your old
there's
nostalgia
actually
will
it
kick
depends
in.
what you want to go back in. If you're coming back in as a mocking, I feel like if you have a Dark Age, you're not going to come back into Bionicle mocking easily. I don't see that. Usually, most Bionicle mockers I've seen are generally.
I didn't say
people
they're
who
mocking,
never-
I just said get back in. That could just mean collecting, enjoying,
I know.
revisiting.
I don't know. I was just saying a specific one. So, but no, like I said, and I keep saying this before, and I'm going to say it again. So I'm trying to hold myself to that. At some point, yes, I am going to be doing set reviews, and I do want to do mock showcases. I'm getting stuff prepped. Before I was just waiting to get all the Bionicle sets, but I do want to review the canisters to sets too, like as part the packaging, because I do think that is a very key important stuff, especially canisters. However, I am short 4 canisters right now, and one of them because originally I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but now
I mean, it's not important to review them, but it looks nice when you
have them all.
If you're like reviewing all 6 sets or something, you need all 6 canisters to go with it.
It's more of a personal thing for me. Like once I get that, and also the longer I put this off, the more time I get used to editing videos. Maybe get actually a better mic. I have the better mic, but it's too nice for just plugging directly. It needs like another piece that you plug it into, and then it goes in here. I don't remember what it's called. I am not a tech wizard by any
power
means.
converter.
Sure. I'm gonna just call it an adapter. I'm gonna call it an adapter for lack of a.
Okay, sorry. It needs a new
So
motivator.
get that, and then and the thing is, I also had the time to get the sets, and at one point, I do want to also do showcase mocks because I have a bunch of mocks I want to like showcase. So just just my chance for me to show what I've built and ramble about a little bit of their characters because pretty every mock I have has character and backstory. So
if you just look at this video, it's very short. Oh, not much of his character. This video, it's 1 hour and 50 minutes.
that'd be Onvermel.
Must have a lot of character to this guy.
But you probably hear a lot of stuff repeated because let's be honest, I'm never going to script any of this stuff probably.
Script? He doesn't understand what a script
with
is.
set reviews, I might have notes on the side to okay, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. That'll probably
mostly because some other reviews we have seen, they missed this one important bit about it.
That's the reason why I want to do set reviews because specifically the TTV channel with LJ's recap reviews or
they're very good.
Reviews, I like them, but because I've watched all of them, a lot of times I found myself saying, "You didn't mention that. You didn't bring that, or that's the wrong year that piece came out. You fool! That came out with System the year before, or just something like that." I feel challenged
You feel like you know more.
Also, I just feel like I have a bit more to offer than LJ because what I found is with Bionicle reviewers, you either have collectors reviewing them, you have LJ who is very much going on the community opinion on them, or you have collectors. I'm a collector and a mocker fit down split 50-50. So I at least feel like I have a bit more to say about like the parts of the sets come in as like a extra value to them, because you're talking about someone who has like, well, duplicates of most sets for mocking purposes and triplicates and other stuff. So I feel like
And quadruples.
I feel like at least that angle of me could possibly give it at least something else to talk about, at least in its own spin.
You know, well, I don't think they need to know about it because it's really just a giant inside joke. We probably could spend a lot of time just talking about like our own characters, how their own history and all that. Like, how long have we sat down talking about the 6 on multiple occasions?
Yeah, we could, but people would have no context, and I feel bad for them. I've done briefly with some of my space system themed Bionicles. Me and Ek did talk about that and the influence of each one to an extent, but because we're talking about space things, we didn't go that deep into the characters. But we could someday, maybe someday. Like I said, someday if I ever get to doing mock showcases, people are gonna start learning about my Bionicle universe, because they're all connected in the same. I don't have multiple Bionicle universes. I have one. So, and everyone fits into it.
And if they don't, you just look at them and go
It's
like,
called
how
alternate
can I
realities.
make you fit into this?
See,
Yeah, pretty
canonized
much.
alternate realities quite a while ago, so anything fits
Yeah.
anywhere.
But that's like a cheat. I don't want to be like, oh, I have this other mock. He's from another reality. Well, I got this mock. He's from another reality. No. I'd rather keep them all in the same reality.
I just have 3 me's, and somehow they all exist at the same
Okay,
time.
those mocks are... Self-mocks are a little bit of the one...
They're in their own.
I was actually saying, one of the few
thing.
things that aren't canon, and basically my canon,
It's canon.
is actually the 7 mocks I have created for the siblings that I have. Because I have mocks of now of all the siblings, so if they ever show up the podcast, I have mocks to represent them. But none of them are technically canon, because your character is an Ek, which is based on Hanatu. Mine's an Onvermel. I already have an Onvermel, so we don't... I mean, there's canonically more than one Onvermel, because I'm not going to go into that.
Onvermel, yes, can work in your universe the way it works.
Lisseth or Zaktav? I mean, they could have worked just as another T.O.A team, but then why is there another Onvermel and another T.O.A team?
Or why is there just happen to be another T.O.A Gravity with the same mask and the same name?
Remember, Tao and Leecon both had Hows. This isn't...
See?
And
It's
swords.
not that strange.
Yeah, but he's also called Onvermel. You could say, oh, maybe he's purple, except this is my Onvermel persona for the channel. Now, I do have a third Onvermel mock that's Onu Purple as a nod to the original name. Also, I could just go on forever about the story. Like, I had to come...
we could talk about our specific creations for extensive amount
We
of
could talk
time.
about things all day. And
I could. I have. I will.
And the fact that this podcast has gone on a whole year kind of gives
I mean, right now...
credit to the fact that we can talk about Bionicle all the time.
I mean, this hasn't all been Bionicle. We've had deviated now and then from here, but I would say 80% of it's been Bionicle.
We tried to mention Bionicle at least once.
Bionicle.
I work with Ek, and I will go out of my way some days to go across the job just to tell him some stupid Bionicle related detail.
I wish I had that ability at work. Unfortunately, I don't know. The one person who got Bionicle doesn't work there anymore. It's very sad. Although he does drop by now and then, so I still get to see him, and I still have in contact with him. So, like I said, one of these days I'm going to have to get him on here. I keep saying stuff, but who knows if any of this is ever going to happen? Maybe the channel's going to die in a week. No,
it's easier to say.
I refuse to let the channel die. Oh yeah, and I just remembered. I still have the third part of the launcher video because I don't think I've done the how much it hurts part yet.
I have not seen it come up.
Right, I haven't done that yet. I mean, that'll be the most minimal editing. I don't really need to do much for that.
Editing, you're just gonna take it and put it up and call it good.
Pretty much, because the other ones, there's more intersplicing, saying which one, but because that's all shot in one go, and it's it's the way it's set up. I'm I don't think I need to do as much for that one, but I'll probably do a little bit. So look, more content to look forward to, everybody. And at some point, yes, one of these days we're gonna have a podcast, which will probably be the longest podcast, I bet. Is where we're gonna before we record it, we're gonna binge all the Bionicle movies and then discuss about which one's the best, which one's the worst, whys and who's, what's and what's whys, and everything in between.
I was going to say that probably would have been a good one to do for today if you really think about it.
I had a suspicion we were going to go off topic a lot today, and this was just more of a celebration.
Well, we went off topic because it wasn't on to start with.
It's hard to go off something when there really wasn't on.
The only topic was we are on a podcast. Talk. The topic was to talk, which for me is not a very difficult thing to do from time to time. No, it's pretty lucky.
You're lucky that we've had a pretty good work week. Otherwise, your fellow T.O.A here would be dead tired.
I mean, I was probably And let's be honest, if you guys were both tired too, I do most of the talking as it is, so you guys probably could have taken naps in this, and then still
You
would
may have noticed that Onvermel does most stuff. Or you may not have. We do sound a lot alike.
To be fair,
we
it
do
is
sound a
his
lot. It's
podcast.
really, really hard to tell who's talking
We're not as
sometimes.
motivated
Exactly.
to keep it going as he is.
I mean, if we use all a fake act, like the most fake bad accents ever, then yeah, you can't really tell us apart.
And then if you like change the pitch.
Well, what I discovered is you change my pitch like down to like in my edit, like in the audio editing, it pretty much sounds like almost exactly like you.
Exactly like me.
It's especially because like we all do our pretty much a very bad like Australian accent,
Oh,
like
yeah,
very
you did
bad.
bad.
It's
Look,
like
y'all know we mean more bad, more
But
terrible.
I'll say
Great
this.
one.
It's so bad.
It's so great. It's
But
terrible.
it's fun to do, but it's like, yeah, I'm never going to claim it's good. And anyone who probably just heard that went, like, probably died a year earlier than they're supposed
Only
to.
if they've ever heard
However,
of the Aussie accent.
Because, like, I was testing out like, this was, like, years ago when I was
right.
testing out the audio. I basically pitched down mine and replayed it, and I'm like, this just sounds exactly like X. And I showed him, and he agreed. I'm like, this is spooky. I mean, we're siblings, so...
I recorded myself saying something in a Zeddy tone, and I'm like, I sounded exactly like Michael there.
Yeah. I mean, we're siblings, so we are going to start sounding very similar.
Honestly, I feel like if we all start doing the Zeddy voice, they really couldn't tell us.
Also, if anyone's asked for the Zeddy voice, no, we're not
No
going to
question.
explain. We're not going to explain it.
We'll go over in one of the webcomic discussions.
It's somewhat.
Why? We're not
Canadian.
talking about that.
I said one of the webcomic discussions, not its webcomic, one of the webcomic discussions.
I mean, maybe.
I have multiple. I can cover which ones I have at some point.
True.
No, just like I've done this, and there's also that, but it's not worth looking into.
But yeah, no, it's been a fun year. Honestly, I've been really glad that you guys have been willing to do this with me. You know, on a basically weekly basis. I mean, at this point, it's kind of
Well,
bi-weekly
let's
for
put
you
it this
two.
way: in 2 months from now, my attendance may drop dramatically.
Yeah, there's going to be a little new Matoran around. That's going to make it really difficult.
I don't know, it could be a Galmatorn.
I mean, like I
Still
said,
a Matoran.
once every 2 weeks.
But he said Onu.
No, he just said a Matoran.
A little Matoran.
I heard
A
a
little.
little Onu Matoran.
A little Matoran.
Oh, Onu, you might
Not-
see
oh.
where I can
I mean,
confusion might come in.
Let's be honest. Ek was always the one who had the Onu biological, so I mean, in theory, and they're
The
the closest
logic
to
is
Blacktron. They're
sound.
close to being Blacktron. So yes, I mean, I feel like even after you have the kid, well, probably still be able to make some, but it might just be a little more, maybe a little bit more difficult. But I mean, once every
might
2
just
weeks,
have to come to your place.
or
Let's just say-
you'll just hear baby crying in the background from time to time.
Wouldn't be the first
It-
podcast to have it.
I've edited out baby little child noises before with How It One's kid. It's not the first time, so I know. Just saying. But you know, like I said, I want to get more people on the channel coming this next year, and it's been fun. You know, I also some of the podcasts felt very forced, you know, but I've been
But
enjoying
here's
doing this.
to another year.
Aye, it's a little after New
Aye.
Year's, but here's to
It's
another
not
year,
green
boys.
Kool-Aid with vodka, but I'll pretend to cheers to this.
So, folks, I've been your host, Onvermel. This has been the T.O.A. podcast, and we are retiring from the night.